What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video on the channel. Welcome to some Forza Horizon 5. I'm back with this, a Toyota Arctic Trucks Land Cruiser. And this is going to be interesting because I'm going to be turning this thing into a proper drift car. Hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. Drift SUV, drift Land Cruiser. I don't even know what to call this thing. That's just pretty much what's going to happen in today's video. So we'll see what happens if I can actually turn this thing into one of those. I love the wheels of this thing. I love the way this is built and all that sort of stuff. But I'm going to do something different with it because it's always more fun to mess around with stuff like this and turn it into stuff that's not supposed to be. Which in this case, it's a drift truck. Anyway, for people that don't want to see any more drifting videos, or you don't want to see me build ridiculous cars as drift cars, just don't watch the video. Just leave. Go away. I don't care if you don't want to watch it. I want to do it because it's just fun and it's entertaining for the people on the channel that want to watch it. So that's pretty much what's going to happen in today's video. I'm going to be building this thing into a drift truck. It's not... I mean, standard, it's not supposed to be fast. It's supposed to have good amount of torque. It's supposed to have a lot of grip for when I'm, you know, obviously in the Arctic. But in this case, I'm not. I'm in Mexico, where it's nice and hot. Usually, most of the time. Nice and warm. Don't really have anything to sort of climb or go over, I guess. Maybe I can go up in the volcano with it. I don't know, drive around there. But it's the hot season, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's the hot season right now. Oh, it's the storm season. So it's not even like a cold season. If they gave it to us in like the winter season, you know, at least it would have been better. But it didn't. They gave it to us during the storm season. This is pretty much what it is. It's a Land Cruiser, pretty much. A lot of stuff done to it to actually be good in the Arctic. That's pretty much it. It's very, very slow as well. That's why I kind of really don't want to drive it, because there's not really much I can do with it. Completely stock. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and fully change this thing. Right now, it's got 161 horsepower, 343 newton meters of torque, and weighs 2.2 tons. Again, pretty much standard. I don't think there's anything else different with this car. It's a diesel as well. I can still put a diesel in it, but it's a V8 turbo diesel, which is, I'm pretty sure, from one of the Fords, right? And I mean, it could be kind of nice to still have another like diesel drift truck. It'll just be funny to have it. I kind of want to put it in just because it'll be hilarious to have. Do I want to keep this thing all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive? If I make it rear-wheel drive, it'll be lighter. And it's going to make it exactly 50-50 weight distribution front to rear. That's kind of interesting. I might keep this rear-wheel drive. We'll see. As for the kit all the way around, I'm down to put some aftermarket stuff on it. Just make it a little bit more interesting. A tow bar. Do I really want a tow bar on this thing? I don't really. As for side skirts, just add some mud flaps. That's fine. I don't really care for that. As for tires, we can't really change much on this thing. I can give it some better tires, I guess, which will probably be useful because right now my handling's at 3.2. As for the rear, we could give it even bigger tires as well. 355 tires on the back. Do I really want to do that? I don't think I do. Actually, maybe, because... See, I'm kind of thinking about it now, right? This thing is kind of supposed to be like an all-wheel drive truck. What if I make it fully all-wheel drive? What if I just leave it all-wheel drive and then just... Because I can't actually change tires to anything else. I literally have to stick with these tires. Oh my god. The wheels are so massive on this thing. 24-inch wheels. That is just jokes. And I can also put like aftermarket wheels on it, which will make it look even funnier. If I get some sort of wheels for this thing and make them 24-inch. Oh god. What sort of wheels can I put on it? That would look absolutely ridiculous on this thing. What would these look like? Let's have a look. If I make these bigger. Oh my god. Oh, it just looks ridiculous. It just looks like the wheels aren't supposed to be that big. Well, technically they're not. Do I keep this rear-wheel drive? That is the question here. The tires are so massive. Why did I give it such big tires? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this an all-wheel drive drift build. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change the wheel size as well. Back to 315s. Like that. Because I think that's fine for it. I feel like I'm going to struggle if I decide to do anything else. Do that. Give this a race transmission. Everything else I'm just going to pretty much buy. whatever I need to buy here. I'm gonna put the off-road diff in that because that's gonna be fully locked already. As for everything else here, weight reduction and all that sort of stuff, I don't actually have drift suspension on this thing, so I'm gonna have to work without it. I guess having it all-wheel drive is probably a better idea as well if I don't have drift suspension, because that means I'll just get a little bit of power to go to the front wheels, making this thing actually be able to slide properly. So 1,000 horsepower, still a diesel. Look at that graph. Look at the graph. The torque just shooting up. It's got 3,100 Newton meters of torque. That is so much. Oh god. Okay, this is gonna be mad to drive. I honestly think this is gonna be crazy to drive. Did I buy everything? I did buy everything. Okay. That's I guess it. I can't really do anything else to this car. Truck, sorry. The Land Cruiser. I'm gonna have to mess with a tune for it to see if I can get this thing to slide properly. As for my tire pressure, I'm gonna bring this just to 30 psi, just the same as like a normal tire. I don't know if that's a good or bad idea, but we'll see. As for this, obviously it doesn't rev up too high, maybe around 4K. So I'm gonna leave that the way it is. I'm gonna fully do the same sort of setup that a normal, I guess. I'll have to mess with my toe to see. I'm gonna give this a little bit more camber on the rear. We'll do around negative 3.5. This I'm gonna keep soft. We'll see. Right height, I'm gonna lower this as much as I possibly can. There we go. I might have to stiffen my suspension. I might have to stiffen the dampers and everything. I'm also gonna give this a little bit more power to go through the rear wheels. I think I'm gonna make it 2080. We'll see what that split is like. And again, I'll mess around with toe and all that sort of stuff in a second because I think I need to. But we'll see. So this is pretty much what we've ended up with. It's significantly faster than what it was before. Again, only revs up to just a little over 4K. It's kind of fun being on really soft suspension, but I feel like it'll struggle. It definitely has a lot of torque though. I mean, it changes directions pretty easily, so that's kind of nice. I also kind of like the jelly build sort of feel to it, having like really soft suspension. It's kind of cool, but I think I do need to stiffen it. Oh god, okay. And I also think I need to mess with my toe quite a bit. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go all the way to the top of the hill, and I'll adjust some stuff here. I think I may need to change my gear ratios slightly as well, but we'll see. I'll adjust some stuff, and then I'll be right back. Okay. We'll see what this is like. If I need to change anything, I'll change stuff. Oh god. I always go too fast here for that corner for whatever reason. I keep forgetting that it sort of like turns back into itself. And it's not just a normal corner. Yeah, the torque feels weird on this thing. It feels weird having to stay in one of these gears. So it's kind of struggling a little bit. You can see my toe I've messed around with and made it a little bit more extreme. The main thing is I ended up changing my tire pressure as well to as high as possible, just to sort of get rid of a little bit more grip. I can keep it sideways, I just can't keep a lot of angle with it. That's pretty much the issue. I've also stiffened springs, dampers, and ARBs. Gear ratios I made a tiny bit longer as well, but again, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Again, I have to keep in mind that this is a diesel. I can't just have it like revved out fully all the time because it just... That isn't where like peak power is for this. Peak power I think is like around 3K. So if I keep it around 3K, it's a little better. If I go anything over that in a diesel, it's just completely useless. I don't think I'm gonna get quite a lot of points with this thing, but I still think it's gonna be kind of fun to drive. Oh god. It just feels strange. Because the gear ratios are this long, again, I think I might need to shorten them. Just to make it a little better to drive. I feel like I'm just sort of between gears every time. Or I need to be between gears every time. So I'm going to shorten these quite a bit. I don't really need a high top speed anyway. Maybe if I had more gears, it could probably be a little better. Or if I had a 7 speed instead of a 6 speed. See, there it goes. See what I mean? Like, because it doesn't have drift suspension, it's difficult for this thing to just sort of, you know, come back to being in a straight line again. I've adjusted my toe so I can get it to go sideways all the time, pretty much. I probably need to change maybe my front toe a little bit. So I'm gonna have a tiny bit more grip, because right now I've made it so it's pretty much both front and rear, making this thing pretty much unstable to drive in a straight line, just so I can force it to go sideways. But it's not impossible to slide. It's still doing an alright job. Ooh, okay, kind of smooth. These gear ratios are so much better now, by the way. Being a little bit shorter, so I can actually keep it in fourth the entire way around this. Instead of constantly swapping from third to fourth, and not knowing which gear I should be in any of these corners. I just feel like fourth has just enough torque for everything here. That I could just do this. I kind of like the grip of the tires. I feel like the grip of the tires I've gotten spot on. So, and by that I mean like the lack of grip from tires. Because these are probably the worst tires I could possibly put on this thing, right? Except for literally the stock tires that I had on it. But I kind of like these. I feel like these give just a tiny bit more grip than what the stock ones gave it. So I'm kind of happy with these. I am being able to push myself along nicely. Yeah, this thing as a rear wheel drive I think would have been terrible, because that front end just barely pulls you in the direction that you want to go when I'm counter steering. So having that little bit of power, that 20% of power from that diff that I made it so it goes to the front wheels, is so useful for this thing. So I see, I think like there I would have just spun out fully. I definitely wouldn't have been able to like keep that sort of angle. Oh my god, that was clean! That was so clean! That was jokes to drive. Honestly, that's really funny to drive. Again, as a diesel, it just feels odd not having to rev it up really high. But what makes it fun is that it's a little bit of a challenge, you know, to try and get it sideways. And to keep it there. Obviously, all-wheel drive makes it so much easier. Much easier. I think this thing, like I said, I think this thing as a rear-wheel drive isn't just not going to be good to slide around with. The lack of drift suspension, which gives me extra steering angle, will be very noticeable. Here, I'm still like counter steering every now and then, obviously, to straighten up and, you know, change direction. But a lot of the work literally just comes down to my throttle. That's literally it. You know, the amount of throttle that I put down when I'm tapping it or whatever, when I'm doing 100% of the throttle. Stuff like that is just to keep this thing going sideways, you know? And then at the end, maybe a little bit of steering just to sort of straighten up and that. And I kind of like that for all-wheel drive drift cars, you know, or drift builds or whatever. The rally cars are like that as well. Very similar to that, where you just sort of use throttle to go around corners and that. Very good. So this is pretty much what this is like built for. Again, I think the toe making this thing also usable, get it to go sideways and stay sideways. That's very useful. Because I think this thing's stock, if I just left the toe on 0-0, or just a tiny bit of toe, I don't think it would be as good as this is now. It's lacking. It's lacking the steering. It's definitely lacking the steering. There's no sharpness in the steering. It just feels like a boat. Feels like I'm rowing a boat, waiting for it to go sideways. And then once it's sideways again, like I said, I just use throttle to sort of control it. So it's not a difficult car to drive. It is a little bit more challenging than, let's say, whatever a normal car is like. But it's still fun to slide around and just, you know, see one of these things drift around with massive, massive wheels. 24-inch wheels. I don't even know what the diameter of the actual tire is, like 30 inches or something, because that's still extra. There's still so much tire left. And it looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous to slide. Well, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed today's video of a ridiculous drift build, you guys know that I always love to do stupid drift builds like this. But yeah, like I said, if you enjoy it, please let me know down below in the comments. Like the video as well. Comment, share, do whatever it is you guys want to do. And of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel and you want to see more stuff like this. But for now, that's it from me. Thank you everybody for watching the Arctic Trucks. By the way, if you don't know how to get this thing, just get to 45 points in this season and you can get it. It's still a long time to go, 3 days until you can actually get this thing. And yeah, if you can't get it now, you probably just buy it off the auction house. I don't think it's going to be incredibly expensive. It'll probably be expensive because it's not like, you know, it's not a car that you could just purchase. I think you just have to get it through the festival playlist. But it's not going to be, I don't think, very rare, very expensive. But that's it. Again, thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.